2 people got my legs, 2 people got my arms, and they tackled me to the ground. I got so scared in that moment that I peed myself. I went into lustful mindset. He said, Imani, I have big things planned for you, but I need you to give up your flesh first. I am so excited for this video. We're gonna get like super straight right into it. Oh, I'm so excited. So I have my notes here, so please work with me. This is my testimony we're talking about, which is definitely a lot of things in one, but I am so excited because we got our notes, we done planned, we thought it out, we've been thinking about it, so it's not gonna be like a oopsie daisy type thing where I'm getting lost in the sauce. I have my notes to help me keep me on track. So first, who I am, my name is Imani. I am 16 years old. All right, I'm 16 years old, been on this earth for that long. The topic of today's video is my testimony, how I am better than ever, superb, soaring for God at such a young age, soaring as just a young person in general, in my mentality, my reality, and everything in between. So before we kick right into it, make sure, please hit subscribe. Okay, hit subscribe. We're at 2 followers, 2 subscribers. And if you, I'm not trying to force you into subscribing to me, but if you like deep conversation where we're really getting into it, and possibly if so, if you are a teenager or somewhere around my age, or maybe you're older than me, who cares? I don't care. I mean, if you just love deep conversation where we're really getting into the mentality behind things and how it's so much bigger than just the black and white, the ketchup and the mustard, and it's like there's some mold under this to make it like this, you know? So getting right into it, let's start from the top. Ages 6 to 11, elementary school. I said that right. I think I said that right. I pray I said that right. So how was my schooling? In school, I was amazing. I was the top of my classes, teacher's pet. Everybody liked me. You know, you always had your mean girls in the school, but I mean, they didn't do anything to me, but everybody was cool. We were all chill. Everybody was chill, cool, whatever, all those different things. And it was a cool experience. I mean, my grades were amazing. My awards, I had gotten the principal's award, so only a couple of kids inside of each class, like only 4 inside each class could get the president's award. Not the principal's award, the president's award, the principal's award. Only 4 could get the principal's award in each class, and then I got the president's award. President's award, that was 1 and 2 for each grade, and that's when they got the president to sign it. Who was president? Doesn't matter. We're just gonna skip over that. And so next, how was my relationship with God from ages 6 to 11? You know, we went to church, my family, you know, we went to church, all those different things. And if you don't know, I'm originally from Charlotte, North Carolina. We now live in Atlanta, Georgia. Both of them have become my home. I love both of them so much. Both of them have such a vital time in my life. Charlotte was very much my childhood, and Atlanta is like me growing into soon to be a woman, which is crazy. Like, I still can't believe I'm less than 2 years from being a legalized adult. Let's not even get into that yet. But yeah, church was great. And so I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, and in Charlotte, something huge is Elevation Church. Just in North Carolina in general, something huge is Elevation Church, and that's the church me and my family went to. It's, if you don't know Elevation Church, it's very much a poppy, full of life. I'm not saying other churches aren't, but I'm just saying full of that youthful life, pop music for the worship music and all those different things. Amazing church, you know. And I had a slight connection with God. I had gotten baptized when I was in that range area, but I didn't really fully know what it meant. I was just like, oh, I would like to get baptized. And so I'm still thankful that I got baptized, because that's still a covering over my life, you know. But yeah, it wasn't that much of a connection. And something else is I really learned about God. And of course I learned about Jesus, but I didn't know how me and Jesus's connection clicked. I'm like, I know you died for me. And I'm like, cool. Whatever. It's not a whatever thing. It's a mega beautiful, amazing, gorgeous thing. I mean, can't even say thing. And so something else between the ages of 6 and 11, my habit, something I had as a habit, I was a huge people pleaser. Yes, 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 yes. I was your yes man. I'm your hype man. I'm still your hype woman. But I'm just saying, I'm not your yes man. I will tell you straight up, no, I don't like this. Yes, this is good. No, I think you could do better with this. But in a nice, kind, loving way. See, the thing is, sometimes people... It's like people they have to be one or the other. They either have to be brutal with everything they say, turn everybody off with their words, or they have to be, yeah, I'll do anything you want. You want to jump off this cliff? Yeah, let's do it. And so it's like one or the other. And so that's what I was. I'd be like, yeah, let's jump. Okay, but skipping all the way to ages 12 to 14. So when I told you about 6 to 11, that was really golden child era. If you didn't really understand what I was saying, then guess what? 6 to 11, that's easy word to put on it, is golden child years. Even my teachers in that time, some of my teachers wanted my parents to be their parents because they were such good parents. And my parents, they of course love my family, absolutely love my family. They love the Lord, love God, all those different things. But ages 12 to 14, we moved here to Atlanta, Georgia. And guess what? We moved the day of my 5th grade graduation. So it was like, hi everybody, love everybody, bye everybody. And we were driving to Atlanta, Georgia, and it was such a surreal experience because it was like, woo, 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 candy, cupcakes, bye everybody, end of elementary, we're gonna go to middle school, we're moving, Atlanta, Georgia, new state, new place, new people. And none of our family lives in Atlanta, Georgia. All of our family lives in North Carolina, on my mom's side and on my pop's side. Both live in North Carolina. So Atlanta, Georgia, it was just us doing our own thing, which is crazy because Atlanta, Georgia is such a huge thing for people in general, but Black people especially. So it was wild that we were the only ones that migrated over, or at least that we knew about. And so we moved. I started schooling in August of 2019. That was cool. Within the first week, I had gotten upgraded to Excel math classes because I had took a test and I excelled so much in the test. They put me in Excel math, and they were calling my parents. They were like, we want to talk about Imani. And my parents were like, okay, I don't know what they want to talk to us about. Like, we know she's a great kid. So they were just like, what is this about? And I'm like, hey, Imani's so great with her math. I just specifically wanted to tell you personally as the principal that she can go to Excel classes. I was like, cool, what's up? That's awesome. But something is, I've always been good at math. All those different things. Like, for example, like, you know how you're in school, and the thing that you're less good at, they'll put you in that as your main class, and math might go over. Well, at least I know that happened in elementary. Middle school, I didn't really experience much of that in my life because of COVID. But so I started August. It was going good, going great, but I started feeling a little bit, just a little bit distant. Nothing crazy. Like, I had friends. I easily adapted. I had gotten friends by the time of October, which that's my birthday month. By the time of October, I had already gotten friends to come to my birthday party, and they weren't fake friends. Like, these were real cool friends. I liked them. They were awesome. All these different things. And so November, though, of 2019, I started feeling lonely. I started feeling like I wasn't good enough. I started feeling like nobody truly liked me. Nobody said this. I was not bullied. Nobody was hurting me at home. My family, I have a loving family. Now, we definitely achieve for the highest mark, but it wasn't anything crazy strict, like crazy wild. It'd just be like, okay, let's fix this. If there's something wrong, let's fix it. It wasn't a we're gonna bash you if you get a bad grade, but I had created these high scenarios in my own head. And I'm not a self-diagnoser, but I definitely had a level I wanted to hit of perfection, and what perfection was, with or without somebody saying, hey, you gotta do this, hey, this is what you gotta do. And so I remember feeling like that in November. And so December is when it was really kicking in. I started feeling a lot more lonely. I just started feeling sad. I wasn't depressed yet, but I was getting like that sadness was gonna start turning to depression soon. And that was 2019, correct? So here we are in December, January. This is something I actually don't talk about a lot. My grades were trash at this point. My grades were straight trash. So you know how I started great? I started failing and getting behind on assignments. So instead of getting a half on something I have on my grade, it would just be a 0, because I wouldn't even open my assignment at all. Now, if I even at least would have tried, and even if I got a 50, I would have been fine, but I just missed a bunch of assignments. So we're getting into this space where my grades are trash and my emotions are trash. And so when you put those together, what you get? Double the trash. You get double trash and triple the trash, because you're so sad about the grades being whacked that you get more sad. So it was that extra on it. And so we're going on. COVID happens, COVID-19. So all of that, everybody stay home. I was already in a bad mentality, and here I am being able to stay at home in my room. And I know you're like, in my room, but guess what? I would do school in my room. And when COVID happened and doing school in your own room, I wasn't showing up to classes. I was sleeping in. But of course, I know a lot of kids during that time, they slept in. But it was like, okay, I'm sleeping in. I might not have to show up to the class. But for me, it was like I was starting to get depressed. I was like, I don't want to face these things. I don't want to try anymore. Like, it was such a deep, dark pit that I just didn't feel I could get out of. And that sounds crazy. I bet to some of y'all adults who might be watching this, you're like, dude, if I would have done the blase blah when this happened, like my thing, it wasn't even close to what you went through because it was so much more. But something people have to realize, it's all about perspective. Like I'm telling you, there's somebody in the world who is sad because their Lamborghini wasn't the color they wanted. And of course, we're like, dude, that's like legit. Are you serious right now? Like, you can go get it painted later. But it's all about the perspective of the problem. For somebody, sadly, somebody could get punched in the face and they can walk away. They'll be like, yeah, I go through that on a normal basis. Like, I don't even feel anything when it happens anymore. And for me, I'd be like, dude, I'm ready to call 944 sir. I'm ready to do everything. I'm ready to call all these different things. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to do that. I'm ready to call 911. All these different things. I'm ready to get out, leave, dip. But for some people, it's like they sadly get used to it. Sadly, they get used to that perspective. And so here we are in April of 2020. And my family, they now find out that I've been sleeping through classes, that I've been skipping through the school. And at this point, I'm depressed. I've been depressed. But you know what's saddening about it is they didn't know how bad it was because I hid it. They did not know, really. My grades were trash, but they didn't know I was depressed because I would smile, I would laugh, I would do all these things, but I was feeling horrible. Like, legit, dude. Literally every time when somebody would leave the room, I would start crying. Like, tears would start coming down my face because I was so depressed. I was so sad. I was just so mad at myself. I was mad at God. I was mad at everybody. But I didn't show that on the outside. I didn't lash out. But internally, I was brewing a fire that was just in the pit of my stomach, just like ready to explode and implode into something just catastrophic. And literally every time somebody would leave, somebody would leave out the not the bathroom, somebody would leave outside of the car to go inside to pick up our food, tears would come down my face. And I remember I would just be wiping my face before they got in the car. I would cry for like a minute, and then I'd be like, okay, how do my eyes look? Are my eyes fine? Do they look red? Okay, I need to make sure my voice doesn't start crackling. I do not need to cry in this car right now. I do not need to cry right now. And that's legit what I was feeling in that moment. And so, yeah, they found out that my grades were trash. They found out all these different things. Also within this, I started having suicidal thoughts. That was the first time I had a suicidal thought of, well, it wasn't was it a suicidal thought? Yeah, it was a suicidal thought because it would have led to something more. But that was the first time I had one. And I remember I was just so broken, so lost. And I just couldn't imagine how God saw me in that moment. It's like, you're so broke. Like, let me help you. Like, God wants to be, like, he is there for you. He's there for your disposal. He's like, I'm right here. I'm right here. It's like you're a knight and you're choosing to go for the dull sword. Like, it's not even dull. It's a toy sword made out of foam. You know those pool noodle swords? Yeah, you got a pool noodle sword. That's what I was choosing when God himself, he is a sharp sword. The sharpest sword ever, defeated everything and anything that comes in his way. Not even in his way. He defeats everything and everything that comes in your way because you are his child. You are his daughter. You are his son. And he said, I will protect you. I will be there for you. But you got to choose me. You got to say, I am yours to him. You got to say it. You got to say it. He said, I'm not going to force anything on you. I'm not going to force you to love me. I'm not going to force you to like me. I'm not going to force you to need me. All these different things. But guess what? When you're ready to come on over, I'll be right here. I'll be right here for you. And once that happens, cool, awesome. So that happened. So let's say from August all the way to October, I was having suicidal thoughts. Like all the time, I was thinking on ways to harm myself, hurt myself, and I'm trying to say a way, life ending myself. And so, you know, your subconscious, once you start, I started brewing in that. I let the devil inside of me, I let it go. I let him brew. I let his thoughts brew in me. And by the time of October 12th, which earlier I told you October 12th, I mean not October 12th, of October, that's my birthday month, right? I told you that's my birthday month. And so here we are in October, same week as my birthday. I self-harmed myself for the first time. This was the first time I had gotten something and harmed myself, right? And my family found out, and I had told them, and they were like, what? Oh my gosh. Blah, blah, blah. And mind you guys, while I'm in this, I am in such a battle also. Well, actually not yet. Not yet. A little bit later. But no, not yet. So that happened. And then later October, around Halloween, I had tried to hurt myself with a cord. When I say hurt, life ending myself with a cord, I was trying to do that. You know, I was just in this space of trying to find something. I was into gaming. I was trying to get into gaming, talking to people on games, you know, because I just felt so alone and in solitude. And I didn't feel like there was anybody truly for me. Even though I have a supportive family that loves me, that cares for me, and that wants me, I didn't see it that way. I was just trying to find some sort of liking, attention, any of that. And so I had tried to hurt myself with the cord. My family found out about that, which, you know, they've never been huge for talking with people, random people online, which of course now I don't agree with just talking to random people online. And so, but in the moment, I didn't see that. I didn't care to hear about it, but they found out. So that was an extra thing I was sad about. Not sad, depressed about. And so I was going through that, furthering along. The court situation. So that day, they had like these people come to our house, and you know, they were talking to me. So you feel this, you feel that, you feel this, you know, mental stuff and all these different things. And also something else is during that time I was listening to lustful, sinful music. That was something else. That was something huge also. They found out about that, and so that was taken away. And you know, that all went in the same timing. And so I went to the mental hospital, and I was so sad, so depressed. And I was there with the other kids, all these different things, and I was with the other girls, and we were just there. You know, you're hearing about other people, what they've been through, and all these different things. And it was just a lot. It was a lot happening. It was a lot in that moment. And you know, that wasn't really the biggest thing. Like, whenever they would ask me, do you have suicidal thoughts? I would be like, no. But the thing is like, I was so, like, the thing is, I did have suicidal thoughts, but in the moment, I was thinking, how could I have suicidal thoughts and I'm talking to you right now? Like, I'm not having one right now. But they were asking in general. And I feel like that was God, because I wasn't meant to be there longer in that specific mental hospital. I wasn't meant to be there longer. I wasn't meant to be there longer anymore, because it could have became into something more extreme, something more that the devil would have had on me. And so I left earlier. I left in like 4 or 5 days. Came home, was going through, still having suicidal thoughts, still thinking, hey, I want to kill myself, all these different things. Oh, I said it. Still thinking, hey, I want to end my life. And here we are. And I had taken some sort of prescription pills. I had taken like a bunch of them. And so I thought they were going to hurt or do something to me. I just started throwing up, and I had told my family that it was because I ate some hot food, which that night I did eat some hot food, and I'm not a hot food person, so they thought it was because I ate some hot. The next day I told them, I was like, it was because of these. That's what made me start throwing up. Blah, 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 blah. They were like, what? And I was like, okay. They were like, okay. And so in this time also, I am sleeping in my mom's room. So they had a separate space where I would sleep. Sometimes I would sleep in my mom's bed. Sometimes I would sleep on my own air mattress on the floor. And I would wake up and I would go to virtual school. But some days I wouldn't. Like, my parents, they just wanted me to be okay. They just wanted my mental space to be in a great space. Like, they cared about my schooling, but they were like, I just want my daughter, I want my baby, I want her to just flourish, Lord. I just want her to be with you, God. That's what they wanted. And I'm so thankful for that, because I know if I was in most likely if I was in with another family who didn't care, who didn't want anything to do with me, I would have succeeded. I would have succeeded ending my life, and the devil would have started rejoicing, cheering, because he got a soldier off of the field. Not the case, but let's get to that later. We're still talking about the story. And so I know I have to really think about where I was at. But so I took that, and mind you, when I went to the first mental hospital, they had given me some depression pills. Now, remember how I told y'all very late October, I went into the mental hospital? Well, guess what? For Thanksgiving, about 2-3 days before Thanksgiving, I had took all my depression pills. It was 13 prescription depression pills. I started feeling woozy. I started feeling weird. My pops, he had just went to the store. My mom, she was holding my brother, watching my brother. And I remember my mom, she's such a strong woman. She's such a strong lady, very strong. Strongest lady I know. But not just because my mom, like other women, she has her own business. Other women, they say the exact same thing about her, that she is strong, she is powerful. Her name means victorious. It means victor for the people. And that's what she is. And so in that moment, it just seemed like she was so heartbroken. She was so sad. She was so distraught that her daughter possibly just took something that could end her life, something, and she was just so worried, like any parent would be. And so she called 911. The ambulance came, the fire truck came, the police cars, 2 police cars came, because we were in a town to where it wasn't like we lived in a town where we had cops in our town, not because it was crime infested, but it was so we could keep crime out. Like it was a nice town, so it was more so from that aspect. Like there were cops and people around, not because like we had a whole bunch of people doing crime, but it was because we wanted to keep the town safe. That's the town that we lived in. And so all of them were there. My pops, he came back from the store. He's like, what is going on? I leave for just a little bit and this is what happens. All these different things. He's getting angry. My mom is so super upset. My brother, he's not old enough to understand what's going on. He's like, I forget exactly what age he is at that time. But like 2, 3. But in that moment, the firefighter, who's a nice guy, let's point that out. Shout out to the firefighter. He was super nice in that time. And I just didn't care. He was taking my vitals. I went in the ambulance truck and we had went to the hospital. I stayed in the hospital for another day or 2, and then I went straight to the mental hospital. And so from there, this is the one that hit hard. Compared to the first experience, I mean, that was nothing. That was really, it wasn't anything. But this second one, that was the one that was absolutely crazy. So I'll go to the second mental hospital. I mean, everybody's cool and everything. I'm like, hey, we're talking about our experiences. We're talking about what we're in there for. And, throughout there, I made my mental hospital friends, and we were in there, but I can't really say exactly the certain things that happened, but I can say exactly. So there was a time I had just kept trying to hurt myself while I was in there. So they had gave us cloth masks, because in this time it was late 2020. So COVID was still out there. They had gave us cloth masks, and I had tried to choke myself out with one of the cloth masks. And so they took the cloth mask away. And then there was another time where I had ran. So I was nice with everybody. The people who were the supervisors, they liked me because I was a kind person. I was just in a demonic space. And so they were trying to help with another girl because she was getting very upset and angry and moving around a lot. So they were helping her. And while they were doing that, I ran to my room and I was trying to put the mattress on my bed. And the mattress on my door. So I could, try to do something, try to hurt myself, try to hit my head, try to do something to myself. And so they come running and they're like, Imani, like, are you serious right now? Like, are you serious? Like, while we're trying to do this, you're trying to do this. But they looked it wasn't like they were angry because I was making their job harder. They were upset because they truly cared for me, because they knew that I was a sweet, kind girl, but it was just like she's binded in this depression and this suicide in this moment. And it was just, they were so wondering for me. There was another time I had the door in my head, like super, super demonic, not of my character, not of the godly character he has put in me, not by my own works, but because Jesus Christ died on the cross for me. I'm telling you, I can start preaching. We can start preaching, but that's for another day. And so I was on that, and there was another day I had kept hitting my head on the door. I didn't want to fall asleep. I was having a hard time falling asleep, and I just kept hitting my head on the door. They were like, okay, you're done. They were like, you're done. And I just kept going. They were like, okay, let's go. And that was another time. So because of me doing all these things in different times, I had ended up staying there for like almost a month. You're only supposed to be there for a week. I was almost there for a long time. I was there longer than anybody else. Even people that came later than me, I saw them leave before me. And the people that were there at first, I saw them leave. I saw some people come back twice. But even the people who came back twice, I went after them. And so it was just a crazy time. And I just praise God for his love, his light. Ooh, I'm just so thankful, you guys. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. Like, I can't even, dude, it's legit. God's love is legit. Jesus' love is legit. His peace is legit. Like, the path I was on, you guys, I would have been dead. But God. And people, they'll try to look past God, but I have been at zero. I have searched for everything. I have looked towards what the devil wants, what the devil was trying to get me to do. I've looked into it. I've indulged in it. And it wasn't enough. So what does that tell you? I saw the technical pleasures of the world and said this wasn't enough. Why would I give that up? Why would I give that up if it wasn't something greater? Why would I give up the things of the world, the things that I was into that time, if there wasn't something better, if there wasn't something greater? Why would I give that up? No reason, because it's something better or greater. We're gonna go for it. There was another time also I really had gotten upset and I was flipping out. And this was later into the day. The people who were on their shift were about to leave, and the night shift people, while we're asleep, were about to come in. And so we were there, right? And the people, they had the rest of the kids, the rest of my people, I guess, I don't know what to say, but the rest of them had went to their rooms. And I was getting upset. And one of my friends, he was charging his ankle monitor on the side, and even he was startled. He was like, whoa, like I've never seen this side of you. And of course, he hasn't known me my whole life, but I don't act like this. But something else, while I was there, they kept giving me these pills, and these pills made me feel extra aggressive. And it reminded me of something else, but later to get to that. While I was there, so these pills made me feel extra aggressive, but this day I just flipped out. I was losing it. I was punching the windows. I was punching out, not through the windows, but I was hitting the windows. I was hitting my fist. I was hitting the wall. And they were like, Imani, you need to calm down. And I was screaming. I was like, no, like, this isn't fair. I don't want this. I hate this. I don't, like, all these different things. This is not my character. Could you imagine me going through that right now? Like, that is purely of the devil. Like, if you're going through this right now, I need you to know. I know it's hard to see that. In that time, if somebody would have came in here and said, hey, one day you're gonna be happy again, I would have been like, you know what? I want you to shut up right now and sit over there in your perfect, pretty little corner with your happiness and peace. But right now, I'm here to soak in my little pity corner, my pity puddle, my little pity puddle. And so I was getting upset, all these different things. I just kept getting amped up. And there was 4 people. They were like, Imani, here, we have this needle. We just want to shock it in your arm. It'll make you calm down. I was like, no. And so, not angry at them, but angry at myself. Like, they knew it wasn't towards them. It was just me, like, hitting myself, yelling at my own mind. And they got 4 people. 2 people got my legs, 2 people got my arms, and they tackled me to the ground. I got so scared in that moment that I peed myself. I legit did. Like, I felt so much fear in my heart, I actually peed my pants. And they respected me. They shocked it in my arm. The thing that they shocked me with, they call it, that's probably not appropriate, but they shoot it in your butt. They shoot the needle in your butt. But they were like, Imani, like, we respect you, but like, you needed to calm down. Like, we're sorry we need to do that, but you were losing it. And so they shocked me with it. And I'm going, like, legit, it was like a slow tranquilizer. Like, I was starting to slow down. I was in the hallway. The nurse, she was in me. We were running down the hallway together. And there was a point to where I could not walk straight. Like, I legit could not walk straight. Like, I was like, whoa. I was like, whoa. I don't know what's happening. I was like high off of the medicine. And the lady was like, you calm down now? And I was like, yeah. And so I had went to my room. I tried to go to sleep, couldn't go to sleep. I went to the nurse. This is all in the same moment. The yelling, screaming, kicking, the tackle down, all this stuff happened in the same night. And so I went to the nurse. I was like, could you give me the other shot? Because there's another shot that they hit at the top of your butt, and they shoot you with it, and it has you to go to sleep. Fully go to sleep. And so I woke up the next day, and they let me sleep in longer because they knew the type of night that I had. Usually they wake you up at a certain time, like you're gonna wake up at this time because they need to watch you. Like, there's not enough people to watch you in one room and for you to be in your room by yourself. Like, if you're gonna go to sleep, you're gonna go to sleep in the chair or in the couch, but you can't just stay in your room. But they let me stay because they knew I was tired and I had stayed up all night. And so here was another time, the aggressive pills. I think this is the last one, but I told the lady, I was like, I feel more aggressive with these pills. Like, I am not an aggressive person. Like, I know I'm in this mental hospital, but I have never in my life been aggressive. Like, just this extra, against other people. Now, with myself, you know, that's a different story. But with other people, I would not want to hurt, touch, punch, do anything to people. And so there was a day I was getting upset. I was getting upset because I didn't feel like I was being the center of attention for a moment. Like, it was with somebody else. Like, somebody else, they were talking to them, and I kept getting talked over specifically. I kept getting talked over. And I had gotten so angry. I was like, I had cursed the F-bomb. I was like, F. And I had punched the wall. And I was crying and I was screaming and I had just walked off. Not screaming, but I was just crying and I had walked off and I was just huffing and puffing. And that was a lot. And we got out like right before Christmas because they were really trying to get all the kids out for Christmas. And I understood that. They were like, okay, you know, you can leave earlier because, you know, Christmas is coming. And so they really wanted me out. So I got out, you know, for Christmas. I know this video is getting longer, but guess what? There's some parts that I could fasten up a little bit. But for Christmas, you know, I had Christmas, all those different things. I still didn't truly feel happy. You know, my family, they were trying to be in up spirits, but I knew that they were so hurt. I knew that they were hurt. Like, my mom, in the moment, I felt like she was angry. I felt that she was just so upset. But in that moment, she was just hurt. Like, she didn't yell at me. She was just in a stern moment where she's like, my child isn't even trying. Like, all she wants to do is die. And I don't understand why. Wish that rhymed. But she was in that moment of, I just don't understand. Like, she just wants to die. Like, we're a loving family. We care for her. And she still wants to do this thing. So, like, Lord, I don't know what to do, basically. And so she was hurt. And my pops, he was hurt too. But he was trying to be the jovial one of the two. And so, and at this point, like, I'm really just homeschooled. Like, I'm not in the regular school. I'm homeschooled by my parents. And so passing to that, going to late December, later, a couple of days after Christmas, I go to my first outpatient. If you don't know what outpatient is like, you get help for your mental health. Instead of being inpatient is when you're in a mental hospital. Outpatient is where you're still a patient, but you're getting help outside of the mental hospital. And so without being in there. And so I went to my first therapy session. I'm like, I'm going to kill myself, man. I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this and that. And so the lady, she set me up to go to another mental hospital. And she called a police officer for me to go to a hospital. And so in that moment, my mom, she was just so upset. She was so sad because she told me, you're not even trying. She said, you're not even trying to get help. You're not even trying to see the options. Like, you just want to keep going, you know? You just want to keep going. You just want to keep being in this mentality of hurting yourself. And so I had went once again to the mental hospital, but this time my storage had ran out, so I had to delete a couple of stuff. But back to it, so I went to the third mental hospital, and this time I had gotten a peer restriction because I had gotten upset, freaked out a little bit, and they were like, okay, that's it, peer restriction. And this time they were harsher. They were a lot harsher, less nicer than the other ones, but maybe that's what I needed. I don't know of that situation. But so I had gotten out. After that, I had not gotten a on a ending life thought, but I still had active self-harm, and I would do things like legit, I don't want this to get taken off. I might, who knows, maybe that's for another time, because I don't want this video to get taken down, because I feel like it's really important that this message gets reached. But all you need to know is I was really into self-harm still. I was still into that self-harm amount. So time goes by, I'm still depressed. I'm still in self-harm. And around June of 2021, oh yeah, something I forgot to say is when I was at the third mental hospital, I said Happy New Year to 2021. I was in the mental hospital when we said Happy New Year to 2021. But around May, June of 2021, I'm at the mental hospital, right? So that's when the self-harm started to end, like June, July, it started to end. And then the depression was still there, like legit. Like I would sit around all day, and at this point I wasn't doing school. Of course I got back into homeschool, but my family, they just wanted me to be around them. I was still in my room sleeping with my mom. You know, they just wanted me to be around them. They just wanted me to be in their sights, to be happy, whatever that meant. And so I would be watching TV, doing this, doing that, all these different things. And that was just my life at the moment. And it's so crazy to look back on that. But I'm just so thankful to God where he has me now. And so I had gotten a business idea. My mom was thinking, hey, you should think of some business ideas. And I was like, yeah, cool. I was looking into some, and I couldn't find any, but there was a day God had given me this business idea. It was a cosmetics company, but a natural and organic cosmetics company. And I got it while I was throwing away the trash. And I had thought of the business idea, worked on the business, and I was looking into it, and I was like, I actually had put it down for like a month or two. And my dad, he was like, hey, you should try it again. I mean, like, hey, you could do something else. You could be productive, like legit. Like, why don't you try it again? And I started trying it again. I started looking into the business because I was like, hey, I'm not doing anything. Like, I'm not doing anything at all. And so after that, I was like, this is a cosmetic self-care company. I should be implementing self-care in my life. God was not in my life in this moment. He wasn't at all. But something is that I was starting to see something better, And at this point, I wasn't depressed, but I still had that frustration and the pent-up anger, sadness. I still had moments where if I got upset, like I would be in the car, like wiping my tears, and then I would act like nothing happened. But I was getting into a phase to where it wasn't a day-to-day thing. Like now we're getting into like it being like a weekly occasion that this is happening. I'm still getting frustrated easily, But I was like, okay. So I started doing affirmations and stuff like that, trying to get into my mental space, because I was looking at self-care and self-care things to do, and I was looking into that, and I was like, cool, what else? And so I started doing that, and my mind started to feel a little bit better. And I asked my mom, I was like, hey, can I have my grandma's Bible to read it? And she was like, yeah, of course. And I had gotten it. She was like, of course, be careful. And I was like, yeah. And so I started reading the Bible. It was not consistent. It was not on the level all the time, but it was a step forward. And so that was a huge change. So now getting into ages 15 and 16 years old. I know we went through a huge piece from 12 to 14, but here we are 15, 16. But something I will say, in 14, I was huge into lustful mindset, lustful thoughts, all these different things. And for 14 to 15, this was huge. That was a huge thing. Lustful, watching things that were inappropriate, doing things that were inappropriate. And so I haven't physically done anything with anyone, but for myself, I was inappropriate. And so that it was just lustful. It was all these different things. And I don't feel like girls specifically, we get talked about those things enough, or we say, oh, it's just me, I guess, sometimes, because it seems like you're the only girl in the world who's like having these crazy thoughts, these crazy urges, and all these different things. And so I was going through that, but it was on another level. Like 15, another level. It was so deep into that. And so 15, let's talk about 15, because 15 and 16, what I am now, are two different ages. And so 15, I was still in the lustful mindset, lustful era, but I was getting less and less frustrated. I didn't cry every time something happened, but I was still had frustration. Like I would get upset easily. I would hold grudges. I would get sad from time to time. I would have my cry outs, but not in a cry out for God, but cry out from time to time. But I was getting closer to God. I was getting closer. I was reading inconsistently. I wanted God like a slot machine. When things were good, they were good. When they're bad, they're bad. And so when they're bad, they're bad. Good, they're good. So I was in that mental space, if you're really getting with me. And so I was getting closer to God. Jesus, that was later. When I started getting closer to God versus Jesus, those were two different times. Even though they're the same, they were two different times. And I am a Christian. Just want to point that out. So I love the Lord. I love Jesus Christ. He's my Lord and Savior. I just want to make sure that is clear on this vlog. And so I was going through that. But the thing is, during 15, I was getting closer to God. And so here I am. I turned 16. And I turned 16, which was last year. And I'm really getting closer to God. Like, I'm really yearning for his voice. I still get frustrated time to time, but it wasn't like every year I was getting better and better. Like, it wasn't a year. Like, all the years from ages 13 to 16, which is crazy because that's a 3-year difference. But none of them, ages 12 to 16, none of them look the same. Each of those, I was in a different stage in my life. Legit. And so here's 16. I'm starting to read. I haven't read the full Bible, but I'm starting to read. I'm like, okay, let me read Matthew. Let me read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So let me read it. Let me read about Jesus. And when I tell you guys, I fell in love with this man. I fell in love with this dude. Like, this guy, he is like unlike anyone ever. Like, I'm falling for this guy named Jesus. Like, have you heard? Like, he's pretty famous. Like, but I don't know if you've heard of him, but like, I'm falling in love with him. And so 16, I'm falling in love just more and more with God. And here we are in 2024, and I'm getting closer. I still had some habits that I needed to kick off. Specifically, lustful habits that I had to kick off, lustful mindset. Like, I need to tell you guys, it was so demonic, a lustful spirit, so demonic, trying to get on me, being in me, and just really like absorbing my mind. But I was like in this double life between me and God. And so I was in even my family, but me and God, let's just talk about that. Me and God. And I have written down the sins that I was still in, listening to certain music, lustful thoughts, cursing, all these different things. And I have written it out. I was like, okay, I'm going to stop this habit at this time. I'm going to stop this habit during this time. I listed which one was hardest to get rid of and which one wasn't as hard to get rid of. And so there was this day, and I'll never forget it. I have it written down, but I don't even need it because I've done quoted it so many times. So I was working out, I was working out. My brother, he was on the couch with his phone. My parents, they were in the kitchen, and this is an open, yes, I remember. So I was working out on the floor. I was working out. I had just got done with my run on the treadmill. And so, like I said, my parents were in the kitchen, and I'm going to the floor to stretch, about to take a shower soon, and I'm stretching my legs, and I'm closer to God. I'm getting closer to God, like, weekly. And he says to me, and I have it written on my phone, but he said to me, and this is like, I'm low-key paraphrasing, but he told me, and I put it on my phone. He said, Imani, I have big things planned for you, but I need you to give up your flesh first. I need me to be the light of your life first, because I have huge things for you. All of everything that you have in your heart, your goals, your ambitions, your dreams, all these things you want to happen are gonna happen, but I need you to have me as your first. And immediately I was like, yes, God. I was like, yes. Immediately I started deleting my Spotify. Okay, I'm legit almost done. My storage keeps going off. We need to pick this up a little bit, but guess what? We're almost done. So, like I was saying, I was on the floor. That might be the devil, because legit, I'm telling you, the thing that changed everything, how you're seeing me today, on fire for God, on fire for Jesus. But back to it. I was stretching, and God was saying, you need to put me first. And I was like, immediately, yes, I want you, Lord. And so I started taking sinful songs off my playlist, anything like that off my playlist, and I started taking it off, and I said, God, you are mine, I am yours, and I surrender to your plan, Lord. Let your will be done. Let your will shine through. Let your light be the shine that I need, God. Let it glimmer upon me, Lord, so that even with the little shine bit that I might get, it fills my whole body with your light, God. And so I'm just so on fire for God, so on fire for Jesus. Jesus being my Lord and Savior, my everything. Everything that I ever want, ever need. And something that I heard off of another testimony show. It's like the Laffy testimony. So one day I would love to do that, to where we can get even more in depth without the video getting canceled off. But the Laffy testimonies, they ask you, what does Jesus mean to you? And I can tell you right now what Jesus means to me. He is the love of my life. He is my Alpha and Omega. He is my Lord and Savior. He is my conqueror. He is my confider, the one I confide in, the one I trust in, the reason I have so much peace, the reason why I don't have lust anymore in my heart, the reason why I am cleansed, I am purified, even though my body was technically pure, my mind wasn't pure. And I just thank God for bringing me back, making my body his, and that I am freed. I am freed from the chains that Jesus already broke off of me. How many of y'all are still under the chains that Jesus has already said is over, is done, over your life? How many? But you put the chains on yourself. You say, devil, here you go. Here's my wrist. Here's my feet. Here's my ankles. Oh yeah, the shackles, they're in that corner right there. Jesus already broke the chains off. Let it go. Give it to him. I know it's like, oh, give it to him. We done heard it so many times, but I don't think you get it. Give it to him, because he will set you free. You will be freed. You will be freed free indeed. It says in the Bible, Jesus, I forget exact verse, but Jesus was saying, it's on this phone. Jesus was saying, you are cleansed, you are purified in my eyes from what I have said to you. Jesus said, be free indeed. Jesus said, go sin no more. Jesus said, you are mine. Jesus said, if you confess me as yours in front of others, I will confess you as mine in front of my God, my Father who resides in heaven. So let it, give it to him. And so in this point in my life, you know, he's the love of my, legit, he's my everything. He's the love of my life. And that will never change. Like, respectfully to like my future husband who watches this in the future, I mean, he already knows the deal. Of course I will love him. I will trust in him. But I'm just saying, Jesus is the love of my life. Jesus is my everything. And you are a very close second. And so, I mean, not second to Jesus, but just second. All right. And so now I am an entrepreneur trying to really get my cosmetics up and running, hopefully soon, because I've been working on it for so long and I'm so passionate about it, but it has not yet happened. And so, you know, hopefully one day, maybe sponsors, maybe something, I don't know, will happen and we can make those cosmetic dreams come true. But I am also the creative marketing director of my mom's company. I help with a lot of creative design, creative marketing thought process, and so I am helping her. I'm doing that and she's helping me for sure. And so yeah, and I love this channel. I know we're really ramping off because I know that any moment that thing gonna say boop too much, and I done offloaded about a buttload of apps, so we gonna have to make this work. And so yeah, this channel, if you please subscribe right now, subscribe, please like, and don't just hear that and not say it, support other people. And I'm not just saying that for myself, but anytime I see somebody I like, I subscribe, I hit that like button, because I'm like, I want this algorithm to hit. I want other people to hear this and be freed from this and to know that Jesus loves them and that they're not the only one, and that they're not the only child, they're not the only teenager, they're not the only person, they're not the only girl, they're not the only black girl, they're not the only person to go through this. And so yes, be free. Jesus loves you. And I pray you like this channel. I'm really going in on this channel. I'm doing a 2-week challenge right now. So I was really stressing on getting this done, this video done. It's going to be uploaded tomorrow. And so when you see it, it's going to be a different time. But yeah, I thank you, peoples. I thank you. You hear the lo-fi aesthetic music in the back. Maybe I might take it out so that it doesn't get copyrighted, but it was to help me, you know, get in the flow. And I'm just so excited. I'm so happy. I love you. I thank you for watching this, and I pray that this has hit you somewhere. Even if you're already saved, even if you're already on fire for Jesus, I pray it got you even more on fire for Jesus, because we are on fire. We are litty off of the fire that Jesus has put upon our heads, and saying, go and speak his word, go and speak his truth, go and speak his light, okay? And spread it with others, share it with others, get in deep convo. And so this is what this channel is about. It's about the deep conversations with always the layer, the base, the rock of Jesus Christ. And everything on top is to build and break bad habits, to take away stuff hindering you and really trying to come against you, the devil trying to come against you and hinder you in your life. I love you. I thank you. And even more, Jesus loves you so much more. I love you, and I thank you for watching. Love you, peoples. Until the next video, which I need to make another video, but bye.